Hello, class. Let's tackle this algebra problem. At first glance, it might look a little tricky with the negative signs, parentheses, and absolute value bars all in one equation. But don't worry, we're going to break it down into simple, manageable steps. The key is to work from the inside out. All right, let's get started. As you see on the screen, our starting point is the equation. The absolute value of negative, open parentheses, negative x, close parenthesis, squared equals 9. Our goal is to simplify this and find a value for x that makes the statement true. The first thing we want to do is simplify the expression inside the absolute value bars. Let's focus on the part in the parentheses, negative x squared. Remember that squaring a number means multiplying it by itself. So negative x squared is just negative x times negative x. And we know that a negative times a negative gives a positive. So this simplifies very nicely to just x squared. Great. Now that we've figured out that negative x squared is the same as x squared, we can substitute this back into our equation. This makes it look much less complicated. As you can see, our equation now reads, the absolute value of negative x squared equals 9. We're already making good progress. Okay, let's handle the absolute value now. First, think about the term inside, which is negative x squared. We know that x squared itself must be a positive number or 0, since squaring any real number gives a non-negative result. That means that negative x squared must be a negative number or 0. Now, what is the absolute value of a negative number? It's just the positive version of that number. So the absolute value of negative x squared is simply x squared. By getting rid of the absolute value sign, our equation simplifies even further to something we all know how to solve. X squared equals 9. We are at the final calculation step. To solve for x in the equation x squared equals 9, we need to take the square root of both sides. This is a very important point to remember for the SAT. When you take the square root to solve an equation like this, you must account for both the positive and negative roots. The square root of 9 is 3. Therefore, x can be either positive 3 or negative 3. So we've found two possible values, for x3 and minus 3. The question asks for asterisk A, possible value. Let's look at our multiple choice options. Option A is minus 3, which is one of our solutions. The other options, negative 1/9, 6, and 9, are not solutions. So we've found our match, and there we have it. The final result is that a possible value of x is minus 3, which is option A. By carefully working from the inside out and applying the rules for exponents and absolute values, we turned a complex-looking problem into a simple one. Well done.